Hey, welcome back to another week of the unfiltered cybersecurity talk. It's Chris and
Cybersecurity
Bob.
Unfiltered.
What?
We don't even know what the name is anymore. Cybersecurity Unfiltered, I think.
It's been a long week.
Oh, fair. That's fair, yeah.
So anyway, Matt's AWOL dealing with some stuff. So I think you got some stuff to talk about, Chris. Something about cleaning up.
Man, I'm going to go on a rant. I don't know if this is going to be good for either of us. I'll take the
No.
blame, though. If it goes off the rails, it's my fault.
It's all cyber.
Yeah. So are you doing cold calling? Do you have somebody calling up companies and
Sure.
talk to them?
Okay. Absolutely.
So for us, one of the things that we hear all the time is, well, we have an IT person, right? And for covering cybersecurity and stuff like that. And do you hear the same similar thing? Like, oh, we already have somebody handling that one person or IT or whatever.
Yeah, or when the admin takes care of it for us.
So it's one of my pet peeves because it's like the people that are at risk in the business just want to blame IT for everything, which is a perfect segue to where we're going today. So if you haven't heard about what happened to Clorox, this is kind of wild. Clorox is suing Cognizant.
Cognizant is an IT service provider.
Yep. And they were only doing help desk services for Clorox. That was their job, right? Well, in August 2023, Clorox got hit with ransomware. The total damage was $380 million. $49 million of that was just remediation, incident response, and upgrades. $49 million. The overall damage is $380 million. And they just filed this lawsuit here in July, almost 2 years before or 2 years after the hacking incident, right? And we've talked about Scattered Spider before, how good they are at social engineering and how elite they are at social engineering, how they've hit some of the biggest companies in the world. MGM was hit by them. Caesars was hit by them.
Sure.
I think Erie Insurance might have been hit by them. But they've kind of come back with a vengeance in 2025. Well, here's the thing. They didn't need to be experts in social engineering to get into Clorox because Cognizant, they have transcripts inside the lawsuit. These are epic. These are great.
So what happened?
So this happened on August 11th, right? Cyber criminal. I don't have a password, so I can't connect. The Cognizant agent was like, oh, okay. So let me provide the password to you, okay? Cyber criminal was like, in this case, Scattered Spider, all right, yep. What's the password? Just a minute. So it starts with the word welcome. And I'm pretty sure it was like, I'm not sure what the rest of that was. Yeah, well, one of the passwords is Clorox at 123. Classic, right? Classic username of the company. So they didn't call up. They didn't fake like they had credentials. They didn't have to answer questions. There was no verification. No, they just said, I don't have a password. And the person's like, cool, let me just reset. Let me just give you one.
Oh, no.
Who does that? Apparently Cognizant. And it goes on, it gets worse. And now the person's like, oh, my Microsoft multi-factor authentication is not working now. And the Cognizant agent was like, okay. And the cyber criminal was like, can you just reset it? Can you reset the MFA? The cyber criminal was like, can you just reset the MFA? It's on my old phone, blah, blah, blah. And the Cognizant agent was like, yeah, sure. Just hold on. I just went and reset it. All right. So now they have a username. They have a good login. Now they have a Microsoft MFA reset. All right. So now they got email.
They're in.
Oh, it gets better.
Oh, no.
Clorox apparently uses Okta. So for single sign-on and probably multi-factor for other things. And then they're like, this is on, I think, another call. They call back the same day. And they just said, hey, my Okta password is not working. And the agent was like, I'm going to give you a password reset from my end, okay? So the password is Clorox at 123. They didn't even try. I got to believe the people calling into doing this were like, are you kidding me right now? Like, they were probably in disbelief that all they had to do was call and ask. They said ask. And this is all in the this is all in the lawsuit. And from a timeline perspective, so that was August 11th, I think, the next day. So once they got that account, they were able to gain access to critical systems, deploy ransomware, disrupt the operations. In August to September of 2023, after this happened, Clorox had to halt most production order processing. Distribution revenue took a major hit. The stock price fell. Supply chain problems obviously happened. Customer trust was eroded. And then between September of 2023 and July of 2024, that's when they spent the $380 million. And they both launched internal and external investigations. And then July of 2025, Clorox files this lawsuit. In response to the lawsuit, this is great. Cognizant's PR agency told Ars Technica and I think Bleeping Computer, quote, "It is shocking that a corporation the size of Clorox had such an inept internal cybersecurity system to mitigate this attack. Clorox has tried to blame us for these failures, but the reality is that Clorox hired Cognizant for a narrow scope of help desk services, which Cognizant reasonably performed. Cognizant did not manage cybersecurity for Clorox," end quote.
They had the keys to the kingdom.
Dude,
They're,
they
my
did.
God.
I'm assuming the playbook for Clorox. I really hope the playbook for Clorox on how help desk is supposed to be managed had more than that. Oh yeah, here you go. Clorox had a protocol that demanded that the employee use an internal verification and self-password reset tool called MyID. If that wasn't possible, the service desk should have verified the person's identity using their manager's name and the user's MyID username. That's still, like, if you do enough open source intelligence, you could probably figure out who the person's manager was.
Yeah.
But none of that stuff got followed. And then they get gaslit.
And they have the transcripts or call recordings, you said?
Yeah. This is all from the call. They have call recordings. They only put 3 in the lawsuit. You gotta believe there's I don't know if there's more than that, but if that's all it took, Clorox obviously wants millions of dollars back because they're like, this is ridiculous. I don't understand the PR firm's gaslighting of Clorox on this one. Like, yeah,
they're not admitting any fault.
Oh, yeah.
They're trying to deflect it, but wow.
It's the new world, man. Just like gaslight everybody when somebody accuses you of something, apparently.
Meanwhile, we've had guys on the help desk that lost their job because they didn't validate people.
Yeah. Yeah, because that process got violated. Now, remember, they talked to 2 different people. So they called back. So the first call, I believe it looks like, was just the password and the Microsoft. They called back and it worked across, like, they reset so another agent reset the Okta. So this was like a common practice by the Cognizant help desk team during this. And then they gaslight him with that comment. So I have a couple things to go over here. Scattered Spider, like I said, they are elite at social engineering. Your son, daughter, niece, or nephew could have called up and did this.
Yeah.
Like, all you had to know is somebody was a Clorox employee and know their email address and just say, hey, I just need my password reset. And then they reset their Microsoft Authenticate MFA. Then they reset their Okta and they're in and they have all access to everything. And if you give an elite team like that access like that, even if they don't have administrative access to the systems, they're going to find a way. And is Cognizant completely wrong that Clorox probably had some failures internally on cybersecurity? Probably not. Probably not.
A quick web search. I see exactly the format of Clorox user email addresses.
Yeah, but the reality is they wouldn't have got in if it wouldn't have been such a gross, just which apparently allegedly looks like a gross just negligence on Cognizant's part of not following process that was laid out for that narrow scope. They claimed it's a narrow scope of help desk services. If what Clorox gave them was a playbook on how people were supposed to get authenticated, and how they're supposed to get verified when they call in for a password reset? They didn't follow that.
Well, you're assuming they actually got the playbook. This could be a total
Yeah,
disconnect.
could be.
I'm not. We can give them the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, well, even then, it's like, okay, you didn't on those calls, they didn't try and do any type of validation. I was like, hey, I'm Steve from Clorox, but
Yeah.
were they actually given the playbook? Were they trained on it? Can they document the fact that they
Well,
were trained on it?
well, but that's the thing. Did Clorox give them the playbook and Cognizant didn't train their people on it, or or whatever? There's some disconnect there, right? In general, some disconnect happened, and you look at it and you're just like, you're just dumbfounded by this. And when I go back to like the beginning part of this conversation, when I asked when we call people and we say, hey, look, we're just trying to help you. There's just a different skill set between IT and cybersecurity.
Absolutely.
But it starts with what you can authenticate is what you can get to. If you're just handing the keys out to somebody to get into your network like that, a good group, like especially like Scatterspot, I don't know who they partner with on this. They don't usually do the ransomware. They usually partner with somebody because they're initial access brokers. So they just give you access into the systems. Doesn't really matter who they use at that point. Those people are elite. Once you give them access like that, they're gonna hit you. And sure, it doesn't look like Clorox had probably good prevention. Obviously, detection clearly didn't have very good detection capabilities internally, but none of that would have mattered if they would have just not given them access. So I don't think I would think reasonably, and I mean, obviously, if you talk technical inside of a courtroom, it's probably not going to go very far because you're talking to people who aren't technical. So of that 380 million, and they said 49 million was for incident response, stuff like that, and upgrades. Like, how much of that really should have been done before this to stop like that type, like a ransomware attack? So
that's what I was thinking too. Is like, okay, did they use this to actually really finally build out what they've been trying to get all along?
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how much Cognizant's probably going to lose this. They're probably going to settle. They'll probably settle out of court or something. They'll probably settle because they don't want to go to court.
I think I read that Cognizant isn't even their current provider. Did I read that?
They might not be after this, but
they might not.
It doesn't really matter. The lawsuit's a lawsuit, right? So,
yeah, no, I get it. I think they've already switched.
Oh, probably after that. Yeah, they probably fired him. Yeah, 100%. But how much? Let's say they take the 49 million. Let's say the 380 million is like the total loss, right, from the ransomware. Who knows what they have for insurance and stuff like that. But for the upgrades part, like we talked about 49 million with its response and upgrades. If Cognizant loses, how much of that are they going to pay? Right? Because I think I don't want to say if I'm on Cognizant's side here, but like they shouldn't have given them access, but like clearly there's faults on both sides. So it'll be interesting to see how that handles. And we may never know because they might just do like some sort of sealed settlement or whatever like that, where nobody admits fault. Maybe Cognizant pays them some small amount or something like that. So it'll be interesting to see how this kind of just
well,
goes.
If you go back to the announcement that the PR company made, it's like, okay, oh yeah, we let somebody in, but your cyber detection and response team should have caught it. Well, you shouldn't have let them in the first place. But
you know what this reminds me of? When the CrowdStrike stuff hit like the airline industries and Delta was suing CrowdStrike, which I can't remember if that finished or not. But even Microsoft was dousing on Delta for like their old technology. Like they were gaslighting for like having like some old technology or something like that. Like, and I'm like, okay. So I guess this is just a way that it's going to be now. When you have a cyber attack caused by something, or in CrowdStrike's case, it was just their fault that took them down.
So what's a really good takeaway for everybody on this, if you've made it this far, is if you're using an outsourced IT company, make sure that there's a process in place and it's used every time to validate who people are. Because in this age of deep fakes, it's easy to mask and be somebody else. So even if you think you're calling the help desk and the help desk knows you by your voice, that's not going to be enough. It's not going to hold up in court.
I want to expand on that a little bit and take it a little bit further. Not only that, where is the testing, right? Why are you not testing these help desk people to know that they're doing the job the way that you delivered a playbook for it? Why is that not being done? And it goes back to like what we said at the beginning.
Well, let me hold that thought for a second. But you said testing. What if they just reviewed the call logs? They would have heard that people weren't getting.
Yeah, but they could have just called in with a user, right? Just seeing whether the process was being followed or not. Just like a random test transcript, sure, but just call it. But it goes back to what we said in the beginning. We call companies all the time. We're told, hey, we have an IT person, we have an IT company, blah blah blah. Okay, we have to stop this myth that cybersecurity and IT are the same thing. They're not. IT is designed to keep your business running. Cybersecurity is designed to keep your business safe.
Keep you in business. Yep.
They're mutually exclusive. Maybe not completely. You'll have some overlap. Yeah. But at the end of the day, when something fails like a help desk team, right? That's part of IT. Look at the impact it had on the business. $380 million in losses. Who owns that? In a public company, it's the shareholders. It's the board. C-suite. They're the ones that own the risk. Cognizant's going to lose probably, and they'll probably have to pay something. But at the end of the day, who really owns that risk? The cyber risk is owned by Clorox, not Cognizant.
Sure. Yeah,
think about that in your business.
It sounds like Clorox didn't inspect what they expected. So
yeah, Clorox failed here, and so did Cognizant. But I just want to see this fall in court. I don't think we will. I think we're going to see a settlement like we normally do. But so hopefully Matt's back next week. If you have anything else you want to talk about, if you see any kind of like news, you want us to go on a rant about, because I can rant on this all day. Drop a comment. Let us know.
You can rant.
Oh, dude, I need to start ranting more. I was reading this book. I'll finish it. I was reading this book about power, and apparently ranting just makes you seem more powerful, which is really weird. That's not what I think about when I do this, but like, anyway, apparently that makes you appeal more powerful. So on that note,
have a good weekend, everyone.
We'll see you next week.
And drop a comment if you have something that you'd like us to talk about, or want to drop something to get Chris started on a rant. We can definitely do that.
Won't take much. See you next week.